working from your own brain.
Yeah.
You're not hurting anyone in the process. You're not breaking any laws. There's
Yeah.
no transgression going on.
Yeah.
But what you're doing is you're focused in on what it is you want to accomplish and what it is you want to do. And some people may take that the wrong way.
Right.
But, if you ever look at it, I look at it like, even when it comes to the conscious mind, the conscious and subconscious within yourself, that's the masculine feminine principle being played out. And for all the men that are listening, one of the most important things that they have to get in tune with is first a self-belief. And that selfishness has to be there, because a woman, not that she has to be led. I don't believe in that, because she also holds the masculine feminine principle.
Mm-hmm.
She has the leader within herself as well.
Mm-hmm.
But what you have to do is always be a man, and being a man is being about your business. It's being a man of principle, character, having a standard.
One of the best books that I've ever read on this is called The Way of the Superior Man.
I just got hip to that.
Yeah, David Data.
I just got hip to that. I haven't read it yet, but I just got hip to that.
That's the principle. The main principle of that book is exactly what you're saying,
right.
that fundamentally masculine energy is primarily about its mission.
Absolutely.
And that feminine energy is primarily about relationships.
Yeah.
And that one of the paradoxes of human existence is that the feminine energy will continually test the masculine energy to see if it's actually solid masculine energy. Right. By requesting, the way that these tests work is that right. the feminine requests that the masculine right. put the relationship first.
Absolutely on
and
point.
If you agree to do that, you've now moved out of the masculine into right. the feminine.
Absolutely.
And the polarity goes away.
Absolutely.
And the attraction goes away.
Absolutely.
And it's very confusing because you think you've done right. what you've been asked to do,
right.
but you weren't actually supposed to do what you were asked to
yep.
do. You were just supposed to acknowledge the request and continue about your business.
And chiming in after that, which is why the alpha male wins in relationships. Right. The beta male is a male that, gets pushed around, and, the alpha man is usually messing with his woman behind his back, And so that principle is funny. You talking about the superior way, the superior man, but we have a chapter in this book called Definition of a Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I share the story that I had to learn from, because one of my uncles told me one time he heard me on the phone arguing with my children's mother,
mm-hmm.
and this is when I was in my 20s, and he was like, "Nah, let me talk to you," and I was resistant at first
mm-hmm.
because, like most people, it's like, you think I know everything?
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was doing. What I was doing is I was actually depleting my masculinity in front of her, because the more and more I argued with her, the more and more I became a woman to her.
Right.
And
it's so
she's
crazy.
not going to be attracted to the same polarity as herself. Attraction comes from opposites, negative and positive, striking, masculine, feminine principle. And that's the same way our brains work on an individual basis. The masculine, the feminine principle within yourself gets pregnant all day long with different thoughts, different ideas, and what happens? The subconscious gives birth to it. The subconscious believes whatever you believe.
Wow.
The conscious mind is male. Whatever the man feels about himself, the woman reflects it. That's why even in mathematics, woman is symbolic to the moon, the man is the sun. What does the moon do? It reflects the sun. It gives back what you give into her.
So how, in this, I think it's just important to go here because of the time that we're in right now. These kind of ideas, which in our opinion, I think, are not remotely sexist. They're not men better than women, women, but it has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, because when you understand that,
I think it's worth exploring that, because somebody could easily take that. I feel like if they're looking to attack and say, oh, so you're just saying that the feminine, all it does is it reflects the masculine. It's, what about, so.
Well, every woman, you got to remember that every woman, we all hold the same thing. This mic cord right here has the masculine, feminine principles within it. It wouldn't work without it. We wouldn't exist without the masculine, feminine principle within ourselves. And so what I'm saying is, it's like, even you take someone that may be define themselves as being homosexual,
Mm-hmm.
they also hold the balance of masculine, feminine.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't necessarily mean that it's not true for them, because as a man thinketh, so is he,
Mm-hmm.
or so is she.
Mm-hmm. When I'm thinking about it, to kind of reference culture vultures and business, it's
Right.
like even like there's such a huge trend right now, which is wonderful, about women-owned businesses
Absolutely.
and women, female entrepreneurship,
Right.
and understanding these principles of the masculine and the feminine energetically that are
Right.
going on inside of you
Right.
can help
At
you
all times.
navigate and understand when it's time for the masculine to
yeah.
be at the your own masculine, and when it's time for the feminine. And the same with men, because sometimes to add more nuance to what we were talking about relationships, there are absolutely times when at least in my experience, you're not going to keep a woman unless you bring out your feminine,
you
and
have
you
to,
actually empathize.
It's a
You
balance.
actually are there.
Balance, the law of balance.
Yeah.
You have to have balance. And, like the feminine principle is the creative aspects of yourself. That's the impulsiveness of yourself sometimes. And what happens, and we're talking about the individual now, and what happens, or what should happen when you're feeling those impulses and feeling very impulsive, that's where the masculine principle comes in within yourself, the conscious mind, and pulls you back and say, nah, baby, we don't need to purchase that right now. We don't need to eat that right now. We don't need to do that right now. And that's the balance within yourself. But you can't be too far masculine or too far feminine, even for a lady. You have to learn the divine balance, and you have to go into the masculine principle of yourself if you're a lady. And sometimes if you're a man, you have to go into that feminine. You have to.
Right.
Because you can't really relate to anyone if you're not
Right.
doing that, and everything's separate in a matter
Right,
of
and you
degrees.
see that. You see the almost comical
The
alpha
beginning of the
male
word
that
relation
cannot,
is relate,
yeah,
so you have to,
yeah,
and alpha males, they bring this up a lot. People talk about the alpha male thing. That's great.
right,
That's what you should probably, that should be something that you should shoot for if you're a beta, but only shoot for it based on becoming a better balance to the woman you're with, not to control,
right,
not to manipulate. See, manipulation is a form of transgression, because that's a form of me lying to a woman and not letting her know everything that's going on, and not giving her the right to make a decision.
right.
And each human being has property
choice.
rights.
Yeah.
The sovereign is you. Even if you own this land or you own this place, the real true sovereign is you. Your spirit is sovereign. You own your spirit. You can do what it is you choose to do. If you choose to get up and move to Jamaica, and that's really what you want to do, or you want to start over, you have that choice. You have rights, and no one can take that from you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's how I've come to understand, like, the separation between beta and alpha is not allowing yourself to be pushed out of your own mission.
I've been there before. That's why I can speak on it so heavily.
Sure.
Like I say in the book, I talk about the time where I was finding myself arguing and going round and round with a young lady, and
I've been there.
I started looking at, like, wait a minute. And then my uncle pulled my coat to it and told me that, that's not the way you do it, because, the more she can manipulate you in that way, she has control over you.
Right.
And no woman can respect you if she controls you on that aspect, on that level.
Right. Control
You
your emotions.
you become one of her homegirls at that point.
Right. Oof.
And she's not gonna really feel attracted to you.
Yeah, it's not a good
A lot of
place to
men
be.
wonder why they, go through the problems. The friend zone, and or they getting cheated on and all this old funny stuff. I've been there before.
Yep.
I can speak on it.
Yep.
Because even when I've been through these certain situations, I fall back and analyze everything I've been through. And that's goes back to the law of mentalism. It's your mind that you need to correct. It's your mind you need to take a look at. If you're trying to create a movement to manipulate and change other people's minds, that's great. But be the balance for them. Like, let your energy and your vibration bring them up by watching you, seeing you, listening to you. Don't look so much, I want to do this because I want to change. There's been many men that did that. Many women have done that or tried to do that.
Right.
And it's nothing wrong with it.
The change is a byproduct of your own consciousness.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if people are for you, like I said again, if the people that tune into this show are on your frequency, the people that don't, they don't see it.
Yeah. One of my favorite analogies for how this works is that the idea that we as humans, all of us, are radio broadcasters and receivers simultaneously.
Absolutely.
So if you want to change the world, the first step is to become a broadcaster of a frequency that other people can then choose, if they feel like it, to tune into. Because you may have a frequency that they didn't even know you could tune to that.
Similar to what you have going on behind you, how that's going all over the place, the frequencies. That's what you become. You become that centerpiece, and you just emit different frequencies out there. You know, and like I said, it's all about just having balance and having a better understanding of what goes on within, you know, understanding the spirit, you know, but there's something deeper than the spirit, and that's the soul. Very excited about this project. This is the project that set everything in motion with Hip Hop Motivation. A lot of you know the story. If you don't know the story, when you grab the book, you'll find out all about it. Think and Ball Out, finally coming soon. Let's get into these chapters. The birth, Hip Hop Motivation, the chief of belief, floss, fake love over secure status, GTA, gratitude, thought, achievement, the garbage, shake the haters off, what's pimping you, brain train, mind over money, the cheddar, outro into intro. Again, finally coming soon. Think and Ball Out, the book.
Everybody, man, I suggest y'all go out and grab y'all a copy of this. Educate yourself on what the term mean. And tap into Hip Hop Motivation. You already know, man. It's powerful right here. I appreciate y'all. Love.
Culture Vulture book, official. You heard it from me. Nothing but love, big bro. Keep shining. You know how we do. Harlem to Shaolin, nigga. 100 all the way to LA. Yeah, salute you.
Big up the Dane, big up the Kenyatta. Culture Vultures, man. Word. Information. Get that.
This is the Culture Vulture book right here. Let's get it.
Yep. They listen to the music out there? The audio?
The Culture Vulture motherfucking audio. Listen, let me call whenever my shit gets called, let me call my man. He calling me with quotes and all kind of shit.
The book is called Culture Vultures. Y'all need to go get this right here, you know what I mean? Stay woke, people.
The boss is always the person that puts up the money, period. If the person's not putting up the money, he's not the boss. Don't let him front like the boss. Don't ever let anybody say they're the boss if they're putting up the money, if they're not putting up the money. I don't care. I don't care how big the corporation is that's backing you. If it's not your money, you're not the boss. You may be happy watching. So you ever see, it cracks me up when I see people so happy taking pictures in other people's stuff. Like they be on jets and they be on Instagram and like it's not theirs. I don't understand that. You understand what I'm saying? The house is like, yo, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And be like, it's not yours. And that's what not putting up your money is. It's not yours.
Listen, for mad years I walked around with my neck looking like a Nestle Crunch bar. I had to do something about it. What I found is that a razor bump is nothing but an ingrown hair that curls into the skin and causes the skin to become enlarged or inflamed, making it look like a bump. But it's not a pimple. It's a hair that grows into the skin causing inflammation. You have to remove that hair, and then you have to use yourself a nice skin astringent, something that can do the trick, something that can get rid of those razor bumps. So what did I create? Bump Assassin, organic skin astringent. To order your own bottle of Bump Assassin, go to hiphopmotivation.bigcartel.com